make a long story short, the left is obviously and openly the problem. And if you can't see it, you're foolish. And the right is the fake solution. Being first and foremost the kind of Captain America. Remember, he was in the military, part of a military program. So if not a military, he's in some kind of psychological operation program. And we really think about how he was originally to be used. There was the major part included the psychological effect on the enemy more than him being an effective one-man army or something. That was the original intention of the military, to develop a super soldier serum and the archetype of the ideal American man, especially in terms of combat. Okay, and of course he has this Northern European look about him. However, the left, for a whole myriad of reasons, is the problem. Their Greek society culture that they openly embrace. The Temple of Set. This is a biggie. The atheistic movement, atheistic Satanism, the Temple of Set in San Francisco. They looked at this thing, to make a long story short, and said, obviously the left is more evil, and they embrace evil, and they try to play it off in this detestable, sickly manner. And if you look at the Satanist quotes themselves, they say they don't believe all people are equal, and that they believe some people are inherently and naturally more intelligent. And obviously they're white supremacists, liberal, progressive, eugenicists is the best way to describe it. The Klan, they started killing less people, not more, when they became Republicans. They were mass murdering psychopaths when they were Democrats. Of course, you have the liberalism, the Age of Enlightenment. It was about liberalism, not conservatism. That's where we get these Enlightenment societies like the Illuminati. We have abortion and satanic sacrifice going hand in hand. A bunch of Satanists who are openly Satanists and occultists and quote-unquote light workers, referring to Lucifer, subtly and otherwise, are the ones who push abortion. Obviously, to them, it's sacrificing for their culture, their cultural values, which ultimately are derived from their deity, Lucifer. So we look at the openly satanic movement, the Ivy League college bitches. They're Enlightenment societies, Skull and Bones, Skull and Key, Wolf's Head, the Secret Society of Michigan, University of Michigan, and so on. You see the gay agenda, chemical castration. This is straight from the left's playbook. The Black Lives Matter. They're a leftist organization. The LGBT community, feminists are in the forefront of the movement. This benefits ultimately the corporate elite, the feminists, and to some degree the people seen as war heroes. Okay, these are the main benefiters, and the corporate elite, the feminists, the gays, the war heroes are the main benefiters of the New World Order. And then and only then do we go on to the white community and so on and so forth. Okay. So they intend to censor free speech, right? I mean, what kind of a sicko would push the censor free speech recently? So before I was cut off, I was talking about censoring free speech. I said, what kind of sickos would do that? The mental health, basically controlled by a bunch of weirdos, Freud-type weirdos, right? People that think because they want to fuck their own mother every day of their lives, that everyone else does too. Force medicating them for not having the weird same sexual behavior that they have and not conforming to the liberal kind of Tinder, plenty of fish, kind of, sexualized, controlled sex culture, okay? That's really what it boils down to, right? Freud said that mental illness and undesired, unfulfilled sexual desire are connected. And, when he dies, World War II began. I believe he died in 1939, if I'm not mistaken. I've gone over it in my other videos. Anyway, the eugenic, of course, the political abuse of psychiatry is a huge problem. It's thoroughly documented. It's thoroughly documented that it's a huge problem. Not everything they've ever done goes without saying, but you can kind of read between the lines and put it together. So they break down the family, right? Who would want to do that, right? They're sick in the head, right? They're sickos. Okay, they don't want any kind of mature, moral, masculine-based structure. They know naturally the man is in charge of the family. That's naturally how it plays out. So instead of admitting that men and women aren't really equal, and the family is a prime example, key proof of that, they want to break down the family. Moving on, matchmaker, right? Tinder. Don't slut shame, don't fat shame. They're trying to tell you who to date. The highest form of acceptance is participation. And obviously, you're an idiot if you don't think that liberals want you to be bisexual and gay according to their agenda, depending on your demographic, perhaps, but certainly it's more true than not. They also want you to, if you're poor, to sleep with fat women, and if you're going to get attractive women, right, don't cry about her being a slut. right? Don't start whining that the corporate people have the women that don't sleep around and, you know, with commoners and so on, okay? And of course, that's dangerous, right? People don't take care of themselves. You know, they're less likely to have a healthy baby. They're less likely to live long. You know, you know, higher occurrence of diseases related to, you know, being overweight and obesity, etc. All right, and of course, sluts, STDs. It goes without saying. So, gold digger, liberal. It's a liberal style, right, for the gold digger. The conservative comes from more of a Christian conservative culture, where she's more shunned if she's too blatant about being a gold digger, whereas the liberals embrace the gold digging culture, which is very dangerous. Okay, the sexual revolution, okay, the liberal movement, right, the pedophile agenda, mental health, making excuses for them. And there's some truth to their excuses, but it doesn't change the fact that we shouldn't accept this behavior, and they should have a strong structure that ultimately causes them to resist their impulses. And over time, I would argue that these impulses are bred out of them. You know, the desire not to be a pedophile is dominant over the desire to be a pedophile. Okay, so when the Klan stopped killing people as much, they became Republicans. I went over that. A good name for them would be Democrats, because they're drug-pushing scum. You know, they support the street gangs and so on. They push the drugs. Their response to the criminal behavior, which is partially a result of drugs, is to put people into mental health facilities and to drug them more. Imagine the mush kind of mind, people, you know, brain that they have when people go through this process. It's stupid, right? You've been taking heroin, all this stuff, and you want to recover, but no, they want to keep you on pills the rest of your life, so your brain turns to mush, and it's very obvious it causes cognitive impairment and neurological damage. It doesn't take a fucking neuroscientist to figure that out. And just because most of them are silent about it, if not all of them, pretty much, doesn't mean that's not the case. If I hit you in the head with a hammer, and every brain surgeon and every neurologist, etc., you know, neuropsychiatrist and so on and so forth, you know, says that doesn't cause any damage to your brain, you know, does that make it true? And what they're saying is tantamount to that. It's that blatantly stupid not to see it this way. It's that out of touch. Okay, so who upholds the psychological construct the most? The liberals, the left, the media, the mental health, social media, the dating sites, the dating cultures, right? The left is basically like the empire, and the right is the kind of controlled propaganda rebels, right? Problem, solution. The reason why I have to speak quickly in the first place is because liberals will probably censor my fucking videos, and therefore, why should I take my sweet time making them? And then they're going to turn around and want to drug me for my fast speech patterns. Thank you.